I just need another.
Hello, everybody. I'm not sure if you got the first time, but welcome back.
Take two.
We just did like a whole hour of recording without realizing that it actually wasn't recording.
This is what happens when you let Redskin fans run the shit.
Right, this is exactly what happens. But what we were just getting into is we were talking about, for fantasy purposes, the Seattle wide receiving core and how that was going to shape out. And we all were in solidarity with thinking that Tyler Lockett's going to be a number one. Yep. Target him in the first 7 rounds. That's a guy that's going to be a quality number 2 wide receiver for you. Also, Chris Carson, same type of thing. If you are desperate for a running back fantasy, if you're looking to, you really need another solid guy running back there, Chris Carson's a good guy to target. Now, our next thing that we were talking about was Jimmy Graham. How did we think Jimmy Graham was going to do this year in fantasy? And Chris basically shot that down like an IED.
Hey, if you're looking for 40 catches for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns, Jimmy's your guy. There are too many weapons at wide receiver for Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Jones is no slouch at running back, and I really like Jamal Williams. I think he's underrated. But I mean, he's a good backup. But
he is. Look, I drafted him ahead of Aaron Jones last year only because of Aaron Jones' suspension. I wanted to come back around and handcuff him with Aaron Jones, but douchebag jumped me on that, and he got that before. That blew me. But now, look, Aaron Jones is the number 1 running back there, and I really do like Jamal Williams because, like we said before, consistency. And look, Aaron Rodgers running back you always have to go with.
He's never going to face 8 in the box.
You know
you put 8 in the box on Aaron Rodgers, he smiles at the line of scrimmage.
And you know he's going to have goal line touches.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry everyone, I completely forgot. Welcome to the Burgundy Zone.
Oh, welcome to the Burgundy Zone.
I am Kyle. I am joined by Michael Hall, Black Mike, not White Mike. And also we have a special guest with us, a fellow drunkie, Christopher Bernard. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Thanks for having me.
Let's start getting into a little bit of the actual NFL, of how we think things are going to shape out. And last week, Mike and I had talked about how we thought the division was going to rank. And you being a Packers fan, I want to break this down from your perspective. How do you think your division plays out?
Our division, well, I mean, you have to say Chicago's on top right now, ever since Khalil Mack. And if Trubisky progresses like I honestly think he's going to progress, I still see them taking the division again this year. I'm hoping we can beat the Vikings out for a wild card spot. I'm not that optimistic about it unless our defense really shows improvement.
Now, look, I think the Vikings are on a downtrend, though.
They are,
I think
but
they're looking up at you.
I don't think that at all. I think that we have to prove that. I think, the Vikings were better than us last year. They were 8-7-1. We were like 7-8-1 or some shit like that. But no, as of right now, we're the 3rd best team in the division. That's how I'm looking at it. If we can come out opening night and beat Chicago in Chicago, and we don't need a miracle Aaron Rodgers 4th quarter comeback to do it, I think that'll set the tone, and then we become the favorites in the division again. But as of right now, Chicago's the Kings in the North. We need to dethrone the Bears. We need to figure out a way to block Khalil Mack. I'm never worried about the Lions. I don't even see them as a team. Like,
you're not worried about C.J. Anderson in Detroit?
Oh shit, you're right. Okay, let me rephrase that. No, if they could convince Barry Sanders and Calvin Johnson to come out of retirement, and I would still say, they're like a 3-13 team. Like,
if they called Joey Harrington.
Right, literally. Yeah. No, then they're Super Bowl bound. What? Yeah, then they're Super Bowl bound. But that's funny. The only thing Matt Stafford can do better than Aaron Rodgers is chug beer, we found out.
Yeah.
Which is understandable. When you're on the Lions and you're looking up at the Packers, I would drink a lot too.
You live in Detroit.
If you spend more time in the winter at home drinking beer and not in playoffs, I would understand that.
Makes sense. Just thank you for Aaron Rodgers for having a comeback, because he looked like such a little bitch trying to chug that beer at the Bucs game. Bakhtiari he's my favorite left tackle ever. He's the best left tackle in the league. Fuck both you with Trent Williams. He's the best left tackle in the league. And this man chugs 3 beers like it's water, and then Aaron Rodgers chugs half of one and spits it up. And then Matt Stafford's wife posted a video of Stafford chugging beer, and Aaron comes back with, well, at least he found something he can do better than that.
I like it.
That's great. That made me like Aaron a lot more.
Right. Before we get into something you remind me of, I want to ask you how you think the head coach is gonna play out for you guys. And Matt LaFleur, he was here with the Redskins when Kyle Shanahan was here as a QB coach. We know him well. He's a very, very good football mind. Yep. One of the young up-and-comers. How do you think he's going to do with this team? Is he going to be able... Because with Sean McVay in L.A., they brought in Wade Phillips to kind of give that older coach kind of mentality to be able to control the team. With Matt LaFleur, do you kind of see that same kind of scenario breaking down for
Literally
you guys?
Exactly the same. That's why we kept Mike Pettin.
Right.
That's why we didn't get rid of Pettin. That's why they were comfortable bringing LaFleur. I'm just happy that we got a head coach whose name is LaFleur, so I can make White Goodman impersonations the entire season.
Yes.
Cramming up your cram hole, LaFleur. Like that's gonna be great for me. But no,
Nobody
I think,
makes me bleed my own blood.
yeah. It's like, God damn it,
Except for when we
LaFleur.
played knockout.
Like,
Yeah.
One of my favorite times.
Yeah, except for when you play knockout, you tear your fucking Achilles.
What's that line that he does when he's stuffing the pizza down his pants and he's like, I told you not to disturb
Don't
my
interrupt me during my private reflection time. Yeah.
private reflection.
That's what happens when Rogers goes to knock on his office and tries to ask about like some kind of play. He's just sitting there with a piece of pizza.
with a picture of Kyle Shanahan.
Right, exactly. Yeah. No, it's gonna be a picture of Sean McVay. Let's
Right,
be real. Yeah.
Oh, but honestly, so you think that you're gonna see the same type of production from the Green Bay Packers, the turnaround that you saw with the LA Rams?
Well, I wouldn't really. It's not that much of a turnaround. Like the Packers were really just decimated with injuries
Right.
for most of last year, and we had no pass rush. That was our main thing. Clay Matthews was his whole thing was he was never big, but he was fast. In the last 2 years, he hasn't been fast.
Right.
Like I've noticed, Clay's always been the quarterback has enough time to see Clay beat his man, then get rid of the ball before Clay even gets to him,
Right.
and it's been infuriating me. And Nick Perry is just a walking injury. He can't stay off the fucking injured reserve list.
Yeah.
So I'm glad he's gone too. We got two Smiths and Rashawn Gary to rush, who are all three of them bigger than Clay and faster than Clay, bigger than Perry and faster than Perry.
Gary is faster than Clay.
He is.
He's
Dude,
fast.
he ran the fastest 40-yard dash in the history of defensive linemen.
Yeah.
So he's the fastest
See,
D
like,
lineman ever.
As
I
a
guess.
Michigan fan, Rashawn Gary used to piss me off so bad because there'd be two plays back to back where you'd be like, "Oh, damn, that's top 10 talent right there in the draft," and then there'd be 2 or 3 plays you're just like, "Really?" Like
That
what
was
do you
literally
know?
his only knock
Like,
was his motor.
His
Yeah.
motor is there when he wants to do it. But when he doesn't want to do it, he's like a
That's why I like him coming into a
just
spot
regular ass guy. It's
where
just
he's behind 3 guys.
I think Mike Patton will get on his
Yeah.
ass though.
That is probably one of the most frustrating things about scouting is seeing a guy in his production, seeing his talent level, and then the motor stopping.
Yep.
It's just like, I want to see more. I want to be able to tell people you're awesome, but you're not giving it to me.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're not giving me enough plays to see it. Thank you. So you think the Packers are going to have a great turnaround, and I really hope you do. And I think you guys are the front runners for that division.
I think we still got to beat Chicago. If we beat Chicago week 1, then I'll say we're the front runners.
I think it all comes down to that Chicago running game. If
Yeah.
they have David Montgomery coming out with Tarek Cohen coming out the backfield catching balls, if they're able to have 5 to 4 yards per carry, I think it's going to be hard to beat.
There's been a
that team.
lot of talk
another-
out of the Bears camp of
That's
David
another-
Montgomery.
that's
There's been a
another one of my
lot of
sleepers.
talk.
I
out of it.
another dude,
Yeah.
like I watched him Big 12 Iowa State dude, like carried Iowa State. Iowa State's a bunch of nobodies, and he
Yeah.
carried them.
So one thing you did
Sleeper.
remind me of when you talked crap about Trent Williams, the God. I just
T-God.
Yeah,
T-God.
he's
T-God.
second best left tackle.
second best left tackle in the league. But Pete Frisco of CBS who's a big Redskins hater. This is a known thing, so take this with a grain of salt, Redskins fans. But he did a top 100 of the NFL right now, and not one Redskins player was on that list. And look, you can talk shit about the Redskins all you want, but let's look at the list of players that could possibly be on that 100 list. Jonathan Allen, Matt Ioannidis, who came on with fire over the past 2 years.
See, if Ioannidis
Let's pump the
would've
brakes on that. If we were saying Ioannidis, then I could say Kyler Fackrell belongs on there because he got
No,
10 and a
no,
half
no,
sacks.
no,
Ioannidis was
Ioannidis
Pro
was
Bowler
on
last year.
he was on pace to be Pro Bowl until he got injured. So like,
Yeah, he
many sacks
dominated
did he
last
he was
year.
leading the league in sacks.
Yeah.
as an interior lineman.
Yeah, he was a defensive end
Yeah.
in a 3-4.
He was like literally leading the league in sacks until he got injured.
So him, Jonathan Allen, Trent Williams, and then Ryan Kerrigan. None of
the
those guys.
unforgotten one.
None of those guys made on the top 100. Do you think that's realistic?
I don't think that's realistic. I think Trent Williams belongs on there. That's
Honestly,
the only one out of those, to be honest.
Ryan Kerrigan is the most slept on, underrated person in the whole league. I don't care what anybody says.
He gets held on every
He
single
gets held
play.
every play.
I'm telling you, go back last season.
He's had double
and
digit sacks.
rewatch every single Redskins
Double
defensive
digit
play.
sacks every year except one.
You'll see this on Ryan Kerrigan, an arm across his neck with one arm going like this, trying to tell the ref I'm being held. You'll see that every single
You know how
rush
many
by Ryan
plays
Kerrigan.
there will be the referee standing right as close as we are to us, and Ryan Kerrigan's like, "Hey, look at me, I'm getting held," and the referee's just like, "Yeah, whatever, fuck you."
It's just right. Look, 13 and a half sacks last season.
And the year before that.
One of those guys.
Because he had Preston Smith on the outside.
One of
helping
those
him
guys
out.
should have gotten in that top 100.
Don't
It's
disrespect
completely,
Kerrigan.
it's laughable. But one thing I did want to bring up is I saw something. Something came up in my Facebook memories, and it was J.J. Watt's tweet, and it was fake at the time, but saying that the top 100 list of the NFL Network was a complete waste because they had Dak Prescott 2 years ago as the 14th best player in the NFL. Do you still think that's true today?
Wait. Wait, repeat that.
2 years ago,
Oh, I didn't hear that right.
2 years ago, the NFL Network's top 100 players.
Like he's
had
the
Dak
14th
Prescott
quarterback.
at number 14. No,
Look,
of the
Like
NFL.
14th quarterback.
No,
like
14th.
Yeah, 14th
he's
quarterback.
14th quarterback. That sounds right.
14th player in the NFL.
So yeah, I have a bone to pick with every NFL player that voted on that list. Come see me, face to face. We need to talk.
Right.
I think I said it then.
I think they had it as a prank. Like
Right.
it was like some kind of NFLPA like memo went around. Like, look, we're all gonna vote for Dak
So
Prescott.
how much did
just
Dak,
to prove to
how
them
much
we don't
did
give a
Dak pay
fuck
the
about
voters?
this list.
How much
Yeah.
did Dak pay the voters?
Right.
Right.
How many?
This
votes,
man Dak was campaigning after
many-
every game, shaking. You gonna vote for me top 100, right? Like,
How many votes did Jerry Jones get? That's what I want.
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
No bull.
My goodness, 14th best player in the NFL. That's laughing stock right now. But look, I tell you right now, Dak Prescott's agent is going to take that right to Jerry Jones. Say,
Oh, yeah,
hey,
no
33
question.
million, 14th
Yep.
best player 2 years ago.
And Jerry Jones gonna be like, fuck. Well, I guess we gotta pay the man.
We gotta pay the man.
No, I don't think Dak
How am I
Prescott
gonna
is
pay
even
for
gonna
my
sniff
80-foot
that close.
TV instead of the 70-foot TV?
Dude, he doesn't have TVs. He just has naked women with a projector on the back.
That's true. Yeah. No, he just has literally like 30 or 40 naked women just line up,
Dude,
and it just gets
those-
projected onto their backs.
Those pictures that came out like 5 years ago, Jerry Jones with those young girls. Like, I don't know how much money he paid them. He
Oh.
had to have. I don't know what.
I mean,
That is so gross to think about. Like, I wouldn't even touch a woman even got close to Jerry Jones. It's like, oh my God, you touch his thigh. Please get away from me. Go home.
Shit,
That
you
is
looked at
gross.
him. You made eye contact with him. Get away. Like,
Who is? I want to bring one question off you guys. What is one team you could see coming out of nowhere this year? One team like the Bears of last year, like the Kansas City Chiefs
Buffalo
of last
Bills.
year. You
See?
think it's the Bills?
I think you're onto something, but a
Alright,
different
same
team,
state,
different
same
team, same state, same division.
Going
I've
Jets.
been saying it since the beginning. The Jets are going to be 9-7, 10-6 this year. Le'Veon Bell, Adam Gase. Everyone Adam Gase didn't want Le'Veon
Adam
Bell
Gase
there.
with the fucking eyes.
Yeah, the eye man.
The
Yeah.
Coke guy?
He didn't want Le'Veon there because they paid too much money for him. Blah blah blah. Watch, I guarantee he gets on the field with him one time. He's gonna be like, yeah, give that man.
Maybe
all that
Gase
money.
just knows how to motivate him because now he
Yeah.
got his money. He's worried about him being motivated. So be like,
Exactly.
you know what? I'm gonna let it out that I didn't even
Nah.
want this motherfucker.
I think that Adam Gase is gonna use Le'Veon Bell like a goddamn porn star with a dildo. So
Overused, you say?
Overused, exactly.
Overused.
Look, I'm right there with you, but I think the difference for this Jets team is going to be Greg Williams in the defense.
Yeah.
Greg Williams brings an attitude, and especially with the
He's
playmakers
about
they
to-
have on defense, I think that is going to be a legitimate top 5, top 10
Yeah.
defense. You should target them in fantasy, by the way. Hint, hint. I think that is what's going to propel Sam Darnold and that offense to really go over the top, possibly be a wild card
he's
contender.
gonna turn Jamal Adams into he's already a monster. He's gonna turn him into.
How about we just agree on this?
monster.
I don't care what team it is. I just want it to come out of the AFC East and just not have the Patriots win the
Oh
division.
well, that's not gonna happen.
Dude, you know that's not going to happen.
That's not gonna happen. Don't
Look,
go that far.
if we're putting on stuff for a Christmas list, how about we just combine the 3 other teams into one team, and then maybe they'll be able to actually get within 10 points of the Patriots in a
Tom
game.
Brady could have me out there playing running back, and they go 12-4.
Dude, it's ridiculous. Like, I don't understand. Belichick has to be paying like the owners of the other 3 teams in the division because there's no way that 3 teams can be this consistently shitty.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man. George R. Martin said it. That man made a deal with the devil. He turned to a White Walker. He just never ages. Like you can't destroy him. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
The NFL is going to have to pay Tom Brady to retire.
Yeah.
Like, they're just like, dude, please leave. Like, nobody else can win. Please get the hell out
No,
of
they're
here.
it's gonna be an exact Star Wars replica where Belichick starts to look more and more like the Emperor, and they're just gonna start replacing Brady's body parts to make him Vader, and he's literally just gonna be coming out there in a
Brady's gonna
crazy
be
dark
RoboCop.
moment. Yeah, he's gonna be RoboCop, and just Belichick's gonna be over there like,
He's like,
good,
down.
good.
So what you're telling me is that...
Strike down the Jets now.
So what you're telling me is that Tom Brady's Jon Snow. he died a couple years ago, but they brought him back to life. He's not going to die ever again.
Pretty much, yeah.
I could definitely see that being true.
Brady's gonna be playing until he's 70, just like
He's
with
gonna be
bionic
in a-
legs
he's
and
gonna be in a
bionic
wheelchair,
arms.
like,
Yeah.
Sit height and push yourself back.
I'm telling you, the NFL's going to have to buy him out. Like,
His-
that's
yeah.
the only way. Like, they're going to have to buy out him and
His
Tom
brain
Brady.
gets replaced with a logic computer, so it's like
Because if Tom Brady ever does leave,
48.2% percentage of accuracy.
even if Tom Brady ever leaves, if Belichick stays there and they continue dominating, then they're going to have a Belichick rule. Like, Belichick can only
Just
have
for parity.
45 players on his roster.
Yeah,
So
like
gonna-
just
they're
for
gonna
parity.
name it the Belichick
Belichick's
Trophy.
not allowed to draft anymore.
They're gonna
He can
rename
only
it-
get free
They're
agents.
gonna rename it the Belichick Trophy, not the Lombardi Trophy.
Right. Hey,
Hey, come from a Packer fan, I feel like I wouldn't have a problem with it. He's won it enough. Like, fuck it.
they honestly, that should be considered. I think
Yeah.
there should be an argument that can be
They could
made.
make it the Lombardi Belichick trophy. I wouldn't
Yeah.
give a shit about that.
Or
The LB Trophy.
or rename the Super Bowl and the Belichick
The
Bowl.
Belichick Bowl.
The
Belly
Super
Bowl.
Belly.
The Super Belly.
The Super Belly.
Belly 5,000.
Yeah.
Oh man. You know what's crazy is the other last night I was watching NFL Network and the 2007 NFC Championship game was on between the Packers and the Giants, and Plexico Burress is on the Giants. Brett Favre was at quarterback.
We should have won that game, but Favre threw a pick in overtime. I remember that game.
I was so bitter when I watched that happen.
I remember Driver getting a 90-yard touchdown early on. I was like, we're about to kill the Giants, and then we scored no more points.
I was so bitter.
I remember that game. I was at my house rooting for the Packers.
I think everyone
I just
was.
remember Brett Favre throwing that out route right to Al
son.
Harris.
As soon as he looked at it, I knew it was
As
picked.
soon as he let it go, I was like,
Before he even threw it, I saw Favre just turn his head.
Who
I was
was it?
like,
Was it
he's gonna
Webster?
fucking throw it.
Was it Webster? It wasn't DRC.
Nah, it wasn't DRC. It was,
I think it was Webster. I think it was Mike Webster.
I don't remember who did it. I remember blaming Favre the whole time.
Oh, it was definitely his
Favre,
fault.
he might as well picked it off himself. Like
It was,
Favre intercepted by Favre.
dude. Favre was Kirk Cousins back
Yeah.
in the '90s with a better arm.
Yeah.
Just literally threw games away, but just everyone was just
But
fascinated when he threw.
literally,
the ball.
but the thing was, like, being a Packer fan growing up, watching Favre and rooting for Favre your entire life, like, he threw a pick in overtime in the NFC Championship game, and I wasn't even mad. I just went, you live by the Favre, you die by the
Yeah,
Favre.
it's true.
That was my only thought. That was my only thought. I was just like, what are you gonna do?
You know how the MLB had Manny
that's why I
being
love Aaron
Manny?
Rodgers so much now.
Manny
He's
being
Favre without the
Manny,
picks.
It's Favre
It's
being
just being
Favre.
Favre.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just Favre being
Just
Favre.
trying to get massage girls to rub his dick, just
Yeah.
Favre being Favre, dude. Normal stuff.
Hey, if it stops him from throwing picks, let Deanna chill her ass out with her breast cancer and let Favre go get some hand jobs from masseuses.
Speaking of Favre, there was a rumor that came out a couple days ago that
Yeah.
he was going to come out of retirement.
Yeah.
He
for the
posted
Shit
that.
got
He
hacked.
posted that on his Instagram, and then he deleted it.
Oh
He
my
said
god!
his Instagram got
Look,
hacked.
color.
I hope so.
Everybody not surprised.
Right, exactly. Because I looked at that, I was like, that makes sense.
Brett Favre just wants to come out of the crypt. He's
Right.
like, yeah, I'm good. Ugh.
Right, exactly.
Needs a walker out in the XFL. Vince McMahon's like, yeah, come on, brother.
Shit. XFL Favre? That would be kind of lit. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, that
He
would
could be a head
lit.
coach. I wouldn't mind Favre as a head
No,
coach.
he's playing quarterback or nothing. Else.
I know. I'm aware.
Or
Like,
quarterback, head coach, and GM
hey,
/ owner.
that's what I wanted Aaron Rodgers to be before we hired LaFleur. I was like, can we just make Rodgers the first ever player head coach?
Let's be honest right now. The XFL, the only way the XFL could surpass the NFL is if they 100% allowed legalized steroids. That would be so much fun to watch.
You're right.
Everyone would watch it. There would be
Look.
90-yard field goals.
I mean,
You're
let's be serious.
right.
XFL is going to get great ratings because they're going right as the Super Bowl ends. XFL comes on. Up
Yeah,
until
I
tra-
think
up
they
until
timed this
training
right
camp.
because we're going to have this year and maybe next year before the collective bargaining agreement
Right.
implodes.
And there could be a
Which I've been
strike.
saying for 4 years. 2020 is our last year.
Yeah.
I've been saying that since 2016. Because if you look at the CBA, it's a fucking time bomb, and they have there's no kind of wordage for any kind of extension grace period. And the players want guaranteed money like NBA, and the owners like get the
They
fuck
want that-
out of
They
here.
want weed legalized, all that shit.
Yeah, like
Demarius Smith, the head of the NFLPA, already sent out a letter to
Say
all the
save your
NFL
money,
players.
yep.
Start saving your money now because
Yeah.
we are already banking on that strike happening.
yeah, exactly. I've
What
been
does
saying
that
that since
tell you about the
2016.
negotiation
Yeah.
process?
The
They ain't
owners
going
don't
nowhere.
give a fuck.
Nowhere
Nope.
fast.
The players want to be treated like NBA players, and it's understandable why the owners don't want to do it. It's going to cut into their profits by probably like 70 or 80%.
Well, not
They'll make
even that.
20% of what they're
They're
making.
not going to be able. They're not going to be able to sustain a business
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
being able to play. Have to pay their top guys, NBA top money, with trying to pay
Well,
everyone else.
they're not even
plus-
saying the amount. Like, they don't want $200 million contract.
no,
they
I'm
want
not-
the guaranteed
Yeah,
money.
I understand. It's just not profitable.
No, it's not.
Nobody is going to be able to do that. What's happening is
Imagine if
it's
someone
Rome.
Like, yeah.
Rome is what's happening to the NFL. Something that was so beautiful for so long. You're starting to see the end here, and you're starting to see the players wanting more, but it's going to literally capsize the entire league.
Yeah.
It's going to make the league go under, and it sucks because you want the player just to say, you know what, I love football. I'm gonna go out there and play it. But the way, the speed that it's at, the kind of violence, that they're
the
putting
medical,
bodies in,
the whole
I don't
medical
blame them, man.
aspect
You need those
of
type
it.
of reassurances.
I'm at that point where I don't blame either side.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you
I'm
can't.
like, I
You
understand
see the
where-
side of both.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
it makes total sense because you guys are literally risking your livelihoods. When you're 80 years old, you can't hear anything, you can't think.
Shit, when you're 60 years old, you're like,
Right.
huh?
When you're
What?
50,
Huh?
that's Junior Seau.
When
about
you're
it.
naked walking the streets of your neighborhood trying to talk to the milkman, it kind of makes sense why you want some medical coverage, And but from the owner standpoint, they're literally going to kill your profits, and you're going to end up selling it, and the league is going to get ruined.
The thing is, though, they can renegotiate all the TV deals. Like, I think the TV deals come up soon in the next couple of years, so like that's going to be even more money in their pockets. Like,
Yep.
And the NFL is guaranteed. I mean, look, even when I think the NBA or the Game of Thrones still had the most viewers. It was still like less than what an NFL Sunday is.
Yeah.
Like, it was some unreal, like an NFL game. It's unreal how much publicity and how
the
much PR
NFL is
the NFL gets.
almost too big to fail, but not
Yeah.
quite.
Yeah.
Not quite. Look, they just have to be smart about it and have the patience to say, we don't want to get thrown under the bus here.
Exactly.
We don't want to ruin such a good thing. And you think about in the early 90s, did you really think that this was ever going to be possible?
Yeah, not really. Not the way it's expanded now. Like you
The
have
mid 2000s when it was at the core of just exploding.
Yep.
Peyton Manning's prime years, you never thought it would come to this.
Yeah. The
And it
game has
happened
also
fast.
changed a lot too. It's all about big points on the board.
Yep.
You're not seeing 7-3 games like you did back in the 90s.
Right.
That's like a low scoring quarter
You're
now.
barely even seeing 21 to like 14 games.
Yeah,
anymore. You're
exactly.
seeing like 30
Except
plus.
when the Redskins are playing.
Yeah, you get maybe
When
what?
Alex Smith at the
Maybe
helm.
one shutout
You
a
get
season now?
17 to 14 games.
Right.
And that's if like you have the number 1 defense against the dead last ranked offense. Like,
AKA Redskins games.
yeah, exactly.
But I do think the Bears are that type of team this year that could kind of bring back the old ways of
Man, fuck
ground
the
and
Bears.
pound and great defense. I think that's the way that the NFL could kind of change back going
Really,
to
fuck John Gruden. How are you gonna give up Khalil Mack? Like,
smart.
Smart.
piece of shit. And we offered 2 first-round picks too, but he wanted because we wouldn't offer our 2
Look,
this year.
I legit thought
We
he was
wanted-
going to be a Packer for like the longest time.
Yeah, because we had the ammo, and we offered 2 first-round picks, but it was our Saints pick and our pick next year.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, we want either the Saints pick and your pick this year, or both your picks. And we're like, no, we're not doing that.
Think about that. John Gruden let Khalil Mack go, right? Let him go, and then was still able to get away Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
the dude had 3 first-round picks. He's just a fucking genius.
All who I think will produce.
And he's gonna have 2
heavily-
next year.
Heavily for them.
That's a question I wanted to ask about fantasy. Is Josh Jacobs, a new rookie running back out of Oakland? How do you guys think this is going to shape out? Where do you think is he going to be that possible up and coming running back?
See, whenever you were talking about who's going to be that up and coming next dude, I was going to say Josh Jacobs, but we like kind of moved off of it. But yeah, I think he's going to do big things in that offense.
I just don't know because
Alabama running backs,
with
man.
the way that Mike Mayock, the John Gruden, the way that they've been sitting by the wayside, judging the NFL, kind of studying everything, how everything breaks down, I think they're going to go towards a new trend. I don't think they're going to go towards a ground and pound anymore. Going to get Antonio Brown doesn't really reek of ground and pound.
Yeah.
That reeks of spreading the ball out. And one sleeper pick I would say to keep an eye on is Tyrell Williams.
Yeah.
He has made a lot of noise in training camp for Oakland, and he could be a solid number 2 for
He's
them.
going to get the number 1. He's going to get single coverage because everyone's going to roll the coverage to AB. So
Yeah,
he should be able to produce big this year.
you would hope so. Who's gonna leave AB 1-on-1?
Yeah.
That's a good point. That is a very good point. All right, well, we got to cut it short, everyone. I'm sorry because I'm an idiot and we didn't record the first fucking hour that we recorded. So I apologize.
Thanks, Snyder.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Another white Redskins fan here. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please like and share our page. You can find us on YouTube and iTunes, Facebook, Twitter. Look us up. Find us out. Chris, thank you for coming in and joining us, my
Absolutely,
brother.
man. Thank
It's
you for
always
having me.
good
Got
to
to do
see
it
you.
again, my man. Got to
Yes,
do
sir.
it again.
All right, Mike, send us off now.
Burgundy Zone. Redskins football.
Woo! Another 8-8 season.